Hebrew hypocrites, false claimers. It's time to take you back to class. Watch this video. Let's start with Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11.
And this shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pethros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the seas.
Wait, so for a second time, God is going to deliver his people, the rest of his people, the Israelites, the real Israelites, from these Gentile nations. The Gentile nations. So what does Isaiah 19, verses 23 through 25 say? Let's take a look. So in verse 23, the word serve is often taken out of context by the Hebrew hypocrites. And when you go to the Septuagint, one of the definitions for serve is worship, just depending on the context. So in this context, it means worship. Let's take a look. So in verse 25, God says that Egypt is his people, Assyria is his hand, and Israel is his inheritance. So what does that tell you? Is salvation just for the Hebrew Israelites, the real Hebrew Israelites? No, it's for everybody who obeys.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of When Christians Post Scriptures and Don't Know What the Hell He Talking About. So he said salvation is for everyone that obey. So the last time I looked, most Christians, 90% of them, still keep Sunday. You see, they still eating pork and shrimp, lobsters. You know, they still doing Easter and Christmas. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Brother's chopping his beard off, you see. But he says salvation is for all those who obey. So the brother says in Isaiah 19, verse 23, that to serve means to worship. And he would be correct. But who is God's servants? Who is this scripture talking about in verse 23? Let's go to Isaiah 45, verse 4. It says, for Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. So the Israelites are going to be the ones serving the Most High in the kingdom. It won't be anyone else. No one else is God's servant. So when are these Christians going to understand that this whole Bible is talking about the Israelites and the Israelites alone? The Israelites getting salvation. You see, the Israel's being redeemed. You see, Christ, the Messiah, coming to save his people, to redeem his people from their sins. When are these Christians going to understand that? Look at Isaiah 44, verse 1. It says, yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant. So Jacob is the servant of the Most High. That's easy to understand. Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Most High didn't choose anyone else. Out of all the nations, he chose Israel. That's easy. That's easy to understand. So no matter where you go in this Bible, it tells you that the Most High is coming back. The Messiah is coming back to save his people. You see, from their captivity, he's going to redeem his people. So if you go to any part of the Bible that contradicts, what you read in the Old Testament, that means you have the false understanding of it. You have a jacked up way of understanding this Bible. The Bible should never contradict itself. It should always coincide with what's going on in the Old Testament. You see? All right, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 14. It reads, "Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, The Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north," talking about North America, "and from all the lands whither he had driven them." He brought up the scripture in Isaiah 11, verse 11, where the Lord is going to save the remnant of his people out of all these lands: Assyria, Cush, Pathros, Egypt, Shinar, all those lands. There's people, Israelites, dwelling in all these lands. So whether he had driven them from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. So Messiah is going to save us from all these lands and bring us back to the land that Most High promised, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our forefathers. All right, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. No matter where you go in this Bible, if anything contradicts Jeremiah chapter 30, in your brain, in your tiny brain, you should automatically assume that, hey, I must have the wrong understanding. Isaiah 19 is not talking about saving Gentiles. It's only talking about saving God's children. That's what you should automatically think in your tiny brain. You see? So Jeremiah 30, verse 16 says, "Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured." All these nations where we were scattered in captivity, they're all going to be devoured. "And all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil." So all those who oppress God's children, they're going to be a spoil. "And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey." So Isaiah 19 can't be talking about saving the heathens. It's talking about saving Israelites, God's children. That's all it's talking about. All right, last scripture. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 11. I thought I had this in my photos, but I didn't. So it says, "For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations." So he's saying, I'm going to make a full end of all nations. So once again, it can't be talking about, Isaiah 19 can't be talking about, saving the nations. that's just retarded. If you read the Bible, you can't say logically in your mind that Isaiah 19 is talking about something different. It can't. The Bible never contradicts itself. If you learn in the Bible, you will understand this is only talking about Israelite salvation. That's it. So it says, "Though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. But I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished." So Messiah said he's going to save us from all these lands, whether he scattered us. You see, he's going to save us. He's going to put us back in our rightful rulership. And all the nations that put their hands on us, they got to pay. That's easy to understand. You Uncle Ruckuses, y'all got to understand that, they not coming. You see, no matter how much you love them and adore them over your people, they not coming. They're not going to be saved. We're the ones that's going to be saved. We're the apple of God's eye.